All right, happy Halloween, everyone. So let's make a cool glowing jack-o'-lantern with some shaders. Let's see how that goes. All right, so first thing we need is a pumpkin. So let's just come here to Google and search for pumpkin, and this one looks like a nice pumpkin. Um, let's see. Oh, can I copy the image? Let's see. Shift right click. Let's try a different pumpkin. Images. And let's see. This looks like a pretty good pumpkin. So let's just copy this image and let's come into Sprite and we'll make a new one and we'll paste it in, and we've got a beautiful, nice pumpkin. And the first thing we need to do is get rid of all this white. So let us do that by let's see. How do we select a color? Select color range, and we're just gonna, color will be white, and we're just gonna, okay, that looks good to start with, and we'll just delete it. And there's a little bit of a fuzzy border, but we're not gonna concern ourselves too much. So let's just come in here with our eraser tool. Ooh, I need that to be much bigger. And let's just come in here and erase all of this stuff. All right. And just for the sake of example, all right, so let us, oh, the other thing we need to do is make it smaller so it's more pixely. So let's do that. Sprite size, and let's just come down to, what do you think? Maybe a 32 by 32 pixel pumpkin. All right. Now we've got a beautiful pumpkin. And I'm gonna come here with, oh, that brush is gigantic. All right, and let's just make a jack-o'-lantern. All right, so get these little triangles, and by all means, do a better job than me. And let's have a couple teeth. Oop. Just Control Z. See if we can do this. All right. It's got one tooth smile. All right, and let us just save it. And we'll save it as pumpkin.png. Oop, I already have one. How about jack-o'-lantern .png. All right, so we've got our nice jack-o'-lantern PNG, and now we need a Godot project. So let's come here, new project, call it pumpkin sprite latte, and create a folder. And we're in Godot. So let's just import our pumpkin that we made. All right, and let's get on with it. So, come into 2D, we need a 2D scene, and we need a sprite. And actually, we could just make the whole scene the sprite, but that's fine. We'll just do this for now. And we'll plug in our jack-o'-lantern right into our sprite. And we'll zoom in, and we'll hit it. And of course, it's not very fun and pixely, so we'll come over here to rendering. Oop, we need advanced settings. And where are ya? Rendering, textures, and nearest. So now we have a nice pixely pumpkin. And of course we need a shader. So let's come to our sprite and come down here to texture, and we don't want to repeat it, but we'll go to material and new shader material and click on it, and we need a new shader, and we'll call it Jack-o'-lantern. And it'll just be shader type shader, canvas item, default template. All right. So now let us, oh, where did our shader go? Oh, we need to click on it. Okay, great. We've got our shader now. So I'm going to teach you one little new thing, and that is using if-else statements in it. Now you can do the same effect by creating a separate mask, and maybe later in the holiday season we'll make a Christmas tree or a Roman winter festival tree, whichever you prefer, and make that one using mask. But for now, we'll just keep it simple. So remember, we need to get the underlying color information out of our pumpkin. So we'll do color equals texture, and remember, we're just going to use our magic word texture, which is the underlying pumpkin, and its UV coordinates. And we'll save this whole scene. Okay. Great. So now we've sampled it. Now here's the thing. We want to make these eyes glow green and black. So we need some way of separating out the black pixels from the rest of the pumpkin. And as you can see, there might be a black pixel up there. So we'll see how that one goes, because we're not doing anything too complicated this time. So basically what we want to do is we want to separate them out, and we can separate them out by basically the value of the color. So instead of plugging this straight into color, let's make a temporary variable called vector for pumpkin dex, and we'll of course sample it. Now let us do this. So if our pumpkin dex, and of course with if statements in C you do need parentheses, so you do if pumpkin text dot r is greater than 0.0 and pumpkin text dot green is greater than 0.0, and so instead of Godot where you would type and, you can't do that in this one. You use these two and symbols together, and the pumpkin text dot RGB is greater than 0.0. So we know we're not a black color. Let us just set our color equal to the pumpkin texture. However, let's say, our red channel is 0, our green channel is 0, and our blue channel is 0. Well, that means it's black. So let us set the color to equal, let's just make it equal green to start with. So 0.0 R, green is 1.0, blue is 0.0, and we want the opacity to be 1. And what is your problem? Too many arguments for vector for call. Oh, I have a comma there. 1.0. Ooh, okay. So as you can see, we have found our black pixels, but we do have an issue, and that is with both our if statement, and we've got some problems with our alpha. So let's fix this. So let's think about our logic for a second. If our red is greater than 0, and our green is greater than 0, and our blue is greater than 0, that means, let's just say our red was 0, but our green was, we're gonna fail this statement. So, we need to think about our logic for a second. If our red pumpkin texture dot red is greater than 0. Okay, but here's the problem. If we have a green texture and a blue texture pixel that are greater, but a red is not greater than 0, this whole statement's going to think that this is black. So this is not going to work. So I am already off to a bad start. All right, I hope that makes sense that, if we have just a green and blue pixel. The other thing was the issue with importing the texture. So let us fix that first. So remember, we have to fix this alpha border. So let's re-import. And now we're doing at least a little bit of a better job of not having bizarreness. But we also want to make sure that our alpha is greater than 0. All right, so we have a problem. So what if we made these less than? So if our red is less than, let's say, 0.01, and our green is less than 0.01, and our blue is less than 0.01, and we have an alpha color. Oop, what did we do here? Huh. Then we're a black pixel. So we've successfully identified our black pixel. So we just want to reverse these two. So let's move this one down here and this one up here. And now we've finally isolated the pixels that are in our black mask. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So if our red is dark, if our green is really dark, if our blue is really dark, and we are opaque so that we're not hitting all these transparent pixels, we want this. Now if we commented out just this line of text here, let's just cut it out for a second. Let's just see what happens. So as you can see, the biggest problem we'll have is that these transparent pixels are also considered black. So we do also need to make sure that they're opaque. All right, so now we've said if your pixels are really dark and your alpha, unfortunately this dark pixel here, I guess it's still not greater than, I think apparently it's still not less than any of these things, we're considered a black pixel. Great. So now all we have to do is now that we've isolated these pixels, now instead of just making it equal to green, let's change our green color. And remember, we can do that with the sine function. So we can just do sine of time. And hopefully we'll see this glowing green, and we got it. And of course we can do, if we wanted to flip around the sine wave, we can do 1.0 minus sine of time. And now it'll be mostly green and then just be black for a little bit. Or alternatively, we can do the absolute value of the sine of time, and we will start to make these pixels glow a little bit faster. So just a quick interlude, just a fun thing for making a cool Halloween jack-o'-lantern. And of course you can put in all your gradients and do all the other fun stuff we did. So, we can do sine of uv dot x times, I think we wanted to make 20 plus, times, let's make it 4.0, and you can make it kind of do this, the trippy gradient, because again, once we've isolated those pixels from each other, we can set the boring stuff just to the rest of the stuff just to that, but anywhere we have a black pixel, we will have this thing. And just to make sure our thing is correct, we can look back at our original jack-o'-lantern, and you can see anywhere there's the black pixel, we've managed to isolate it, and then we're going to do our fun stuff just to those pixels. All right, hope that was fun. Happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe. Don't eat too much candy.